Growing on You Live Season 11 is sponsored by All In Merchandise. All In Merch is your source for the finest band merch. You know, Acacia Strain, all sorts of different bands from early hardcore to up-and-coming bands. All In is your go-to. Each item is developed with the artists and decorated with care in upstate New York, you know, by folks who love the hardcore scene and who love, you know, the music and the scene, you know, collectively. Proceeds are also issued directly to the artists, which is absolutely awesome. Order at allinmerch.com. Support your favorite band.
Three,
All right,
two,
here we go.
one. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Lo-Fi Horror Guy.
Welcome to another episode of the Lo-Fi Horror Guys Growing on You Live. Today, this Saturday, this is so cool. I am doing my very first marathon. I have 5 interviews. A little bit ago, I interviewed Anders Odin. The next interview is going to be with my dude, Cody Chavez of Drain. Let's see. On here in a second, sorry. Of Drain. One of my favorite recent. Cody, what is up,
What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Yes. Thank God, man. I've been so excited for being able to have you on. This is so sick. Thank you very much for your time, dude.
Dude, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, we were like trying to do it beforehand and didn't work out. And now we're here. So
that's all that matters, my man. That's all that matters. I absolutely
yeah,
love it. Like I say, so sick. I'm a huge fan of your projects. We're gonna dig into all this stuff. I got a couple of intro questions, and then the remainder of the interview is all about you and your craft. And then I have one finale I wrote just for you, my dude.
Dude, sick, man.
If you're ready, let's get this bad boy going.
Yeah, let's do it, dude. I'm down, dude.
All right, let me ask you, as far as for anyone who isn't familiar, as far as, you know, your work in Drain, you drum in Gardens, and then you play bass for Morning Coffee as well, correct?
Yes, those are all
All right.
correct.
Recommend us one track from each of these bands that if they haven't heard, they have to listen to right now.
Okay, so for Drain, I'd probably start off with Army of One. That's a good little track. Then for Gardens, I'd probably say Never Knows Best. And then what's funny is at Morning Coffee, I actually forget our song titles, but I just know them by I just know them by like how they sound and stuff like that. But definitely just go on the Morning Coffee Bandcamp but my bad. But yeah.
I love that. This track too, you know, that's one of those things as a musician. Sometimes you lose track of this shit and you're like, hey, just play the third one again. And you know, you get it done.
Well, that's how it is, because it's like you know, whenever Morning Coffee would play live, I'd be like, oh, I just kind of know it by like, oh, it's the song that's like, you know, starts with this bass line or something. You know, it's like I never really knew them by like the song titles. You know? But yeah,
I love that. That's sick. That's sick. All right, so my wife and I do some traveling. If her and I were coming through the Santa Cruz area or Salinas and wanted to hit up a local eatery, what would be a favorite of yours that we would have to try before we leave?
Okay, well, I'll start with Salinas because that's like, you know, my hometown, and I would definitely say El Chorrito, and it's just like a sick ass little burrito spot, little like market, and they make the tortillas fresh daily, so it's fucking hella good. And I mean, I don't know if you like love, like, I don't know if you're like vegan or if you eat meat or whatever, but they got al pastor and like you know, all that stuff. And that's my favorite, you know, so I'm always about that, and so I would definitely recommend that for Salinas. What's up?
I said sweet.
Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, and for Santa Cruz, I mean, I would definitely say probably like Taqueria Vallarta, which is kind of the same thing, just like, you know, a little burrito spot, and their burritos are pretty good. But for sure, nothing will ever top El Chorrito and Salinas for me, because people always talk about like, oh, the best burritos are from my hometown. It's like, nah, dude, like. Best burritos from fucking Salinas, California, man. Holy shit. Dude,
Tell us, as far as, you know, coming up, you know, being a young man, what was playing in your household? What songs or albums initially caught your attention, even outside of metal or thrash or anything like that?
Yeah, man. Well, like, so for starters, like, I started off with hip hop. So I remember like when I was like a really young kid, I want to say like 5, 6 and stuff like that. My aunt was like in high school at the time, you know, just kind of like just late teens, like going in, like kind of getting out of high school, whatever. And she was like super into like, you know, like Eminem at that time, and like, you know, Biggie and like Master P and stuff like that. So like she lived with like, it was like me, my aunt, my grandparents, and like my mom. And like, so I was always in my aunt's room, like, and she always had these posters of just like, you know, like DMX and stuff. And so I really like caught on to that. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was really like on that for a while, you know. And then it wasn't until I got a little older, and then I ended up moving to Salinas, and I was like about like 9, 10, 11, and then like I started like hearing my stepdad playing like, you know, Ozzy and like Scorpions like in the car, and I was like, oh, like this is kind of cool too. And then that's when I kind of started getting into like rock music, you know. But yeah.
Okay. What was it
Yeah.
initially the guitar work, vocals, what were kind of things that drew you into, that drew the attention toward the heavier stuff?
I think it was definitely the guitar work. I mean, probably just a little bit of everything, but I mean, I think just like the overall energy and just like just hearing. I don't know, I just remember hearing like, you know, Crazy Train in the car, and I was like, damn, like this is like a really like for the time, you know, when you haven't heard like music like that before, you're like, oh damn, this is a really like driving song, you know. So it's like really like, I don't know, yeah. So I think it's just a little bit of all those, you know.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
I love that. So
yeah.
initially, you were a drummer, correct? Before playing guitar or getting into anything like that, you played drums.
Actually, no. So actually, I started playing drums 2 years after I started playing guitar. So I started playing guitar when I was
Oh,
12.
really?
When I was
Okay.
12 and I was in sixth grade, and then I started playing drums when I was in eighth grade. So I was 14 actually. Yeah. So 2 years after that, I started playing.
Okay. Well, tell us
Yeah.
about getting your first guitar. Where did that come in, and where'd you get it from?
Yeah. So it was a really shitty like Ibanez, like it was a really shitty like black Ibanez, and I got it from my cousin Sarah. And I think I want to owe it to my cousin Sarah for like influencing me to like actually like I want to give it. Okay, so like for two influences, I would say definitely like Ace Frehley from Kiss, where I was like, okay, I definitely got to start playing guitar. But then also just being around my cousin Sarah, and she was like just super. Like I would like go like to her house because she lived in Salinas at the time, and she had like Green Day posters, and she was like she was a super into like punk, and then like she was like played guitar, and then she was like, oh, she's like, do you want this? I'm like, yeah, and like, you know, she let me like have that guitar, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, and like, and you know, so that was my first guitar. And
Damn.
so I owe it to my cousin Sarah. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. So yeah, so shouts out to Sarah. You
Hell
know,
yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean, once getting that guitar, like, what were some of the first things that you were trying to dabble in learning?
dude. So straight up, the first riff was Ace of Spades, the Motorhead. I tried. I was like, I kept like watching like the music video and like trying to like because at that time, like, you know, when I started learning that, I was like YouTube was like definitely like starting to come up, you know.
Right.
So it was like so I'd watch the music video, then I'd try to watch people do covers of it, and I just try to like position my fingers in that, you know, I was just trying to like just go off of like, you know, what I saw. And then I kind of did it in like a shitty way, you know, like you know, like
You still there?
cut out for a second. I think, oh no, you're good now.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good.
I,
Yeah.
I was just say I always love asking that just because it's always interesting as far as like some cats, some people it's a little bit more of like an easy going, and then you throw out Ace of Spades, it's like holy shit, that's a pretty difficult way to get into trying to learn something. Like, that could be something that push you, not learn it right away, being like fuck guitar, I'm not doing this.
Well, yeah, because it's like I feel like a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, my first riff was like Smoke on the Water, or like my first riff was like, you know, something I don't even know, but yeah, I just think that like I don't know, I just because I really was like into like just the driving, just, you know, like it's yeah, like once I started listening to like rock music, then it just led me to just all these other things, and I was like, damn, like I just wanted faster, heavier, and then just everything more extreme, you know, and I just kept going and going, and yeah.
Love it. That's awesome. Well, tell us about your initial first bands. How did you link up with these cats? And, what were some kind of key moments you remember as far as writing first songs, playing first shows, all that?
So it's actually funny. My first ever band was a power pop band called the Barones, and like
Oh,
power pop,
okay.
I guess like Cheap Trick style stuff. You know, we're just kind of like, you know, I don't know, I don't even know, like just, you know, just like little like rock stuff. You know, little '70s rock, and like so I played drums for that, and that was cool. I didn't write any of the music because I kind of joined the band like a little later on, and it was like my old homies that I went to high school with in Salinas, and I was like a freshman. They were all like sophomores and stuff, and you know but yeah, just, you know, that was like, and then that's when I played my first show ever when I was 15, and but yeah, I didn't really write any of the music with that, but it was all just like Cheap Trick style stuff. And then I remember I was in a kind of like a metalcore band called Immortal Demise with like my homies from like North Salinas, and they went to like North Salinas High, and I was like in that for a bit. And but we never like played any shows or anything. And then it wasn't until then I wasn't really like in like any bands or anything until Gardens, because Gardens like they started in like 2012, and then they our homie Andres that played in this like deathcore band called Asterion, he was playing drums for them, and then he left like after like the first demo or whatever, and then that's when I met our vocalist Jacob in college, well like in community college in Salinas, and I was like, dude, I play drums. He's like, oh shit, I have this like band, and then like that's when I joined like my first like actual like hardcore band when I was like 17 going on 18, and like just basically just fresh out of high school, and then so that's when so yeah, so that's pretty much, so I haven't been in like too many bands, but those are like all like the bands prior to Drain, basically, I guess, you know.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you transition into drums then? How did that come up?
Okay, yeah. So okay, so yeah, so like I said, so with drums, I guess like uh I don't know. I guess it was just like, you know, because I started with guitar, and then like I started to learn that, and I've been playing for a couple of years at that point. And then I got like really interested in drums, and like I just, when you're a kid, you kind of just like you see all this cool stuff, and like, damn, I kind of want to just like do everything, you know. So like so it's like so my dad got me this like really shitty like Tama drum set, you know what I mean? And then like then I remember having like an electric, like the Roland like electric kit, and then I would play that like in my room, like sometimes with my headphones and stuff, and like I would just sit in there and just learn songs. Like I had like a little like stereo, and I would just like play like my CDs and stuff. I'd try to learn like Rush songs. I thought I was doing them correctly, but I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, and I was trying to do like I would just do like Megadeth. I'd do like Take No Prisoners. I was like trying to do like the hardest songs, and so, I don't know. But then like I definitely remember like just like the first time I learned how to do like the fast like, you know, the circle pit like punk beat. You know what I mean? I was like super stoked off of that, and like so yeah. So I think, I don't know. I think it was just my curiosity. I was like, damn, I really want to like hit something. I want to like pound something too, and not just play stuff with my fingers, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. Kind of digging into all sorts of angles with it, you know, just seeing, you know, all the different sites in a band.
Yeah, totally.
I
And
like
also
that.
too, I was super into like I was super into Igor Cavalera
Oh man.
from Sepultura. So he, at the time, he was like one of my favorite drummers, and I was just trying to like emulate him a lot of the times with like his style of drumming, and
Okay.
yeah. So uh,
You ever hear their newer stuff with Eloy? God, I can't think of his last name. They're
uh,
I don't know, probably like the last three or four records he's been on. That dude, if you get a chance, if you look him up on YouTube, is insane. I mean, his
mm,
playing, like from me, you know, being a drummer and playing and just watching, it looks tiring. It looks exhausting. It
oh.
doesn't look fun at all. But this dude, he's just a monster. Like kills it, kills it. But you know, and then you
Damn.
mentioned Igor as well. You know, that dude,
Oh yeah.
classic legends for sure.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah. I was fucking huge. I'll never forget the first time I heard like Beneath the Remains, and I was just like, okay, yeah, Slayer's fucking sucks. Like a fucking Beneath the Remains, because like in terms of like extreme and just like speed and like aggressiveness, I was just like, dude, this blows fucking Slayer out of the water. Because at the time, that was like the fastest thing, most aggressive thing I'd heard, and then I heard Sepultura. I was like, yo, this is insane. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I love that.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
touching on that, let me ask if you could make a dream side project for just one album with any other, let's say three members, what would you play, and then who else would you want in this band?
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. So, okay, well, for sure, I would definitely play guitar, you know, and then, assuming it's like, so yeah, four members, so it'd be like, well, because it would be a toss up between James Hetfield and Dimebag,
Ooh,
because they both play guitar, so it's kind of just like, well, it's either one or the other. But
okay.
I mean, I don't know. But then for bass, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like, I mean, you know, obviously a huge fan. Chromag is one of my favorite bands, so it's like obviously I'd want like maybe Harley to play bass or something, or but um, and then for drums, damn, I don't know, to be honest, man. That's a tough one. I mean, maybe I'll just have to say Igor, like Igor Cavalera, but yeah,
That would rip.
that's a really tough one, because it's like for sure the James Dimebag, like that's like, I don't know, because they both play guitar, so it's like, but
Who would be vocals? Or is that
well,
going
yeah,
to be even harder?
I guess, yeah, if it was vocals, damn, then that's also another hard. I mean, I would say, oh man, I would probably say maybe like, I don't know. I mean, I want to say maybe because one of my favorite vocalists is Ross from Ceremony. So
Oh yeah.
could be Ross, could just be James, him not playing guitar, like and just him just doing vocals. Could be fuck man, I don't know. Like yeah, that's like yeah, just one of those. I don't know, but yeah, like
Love it.
something like something like that. Like you know, James, Dimebag, Ross, Harley, Igor, me. I don't know, some kind of variation of that. I don't know. Like
That'd be sick. I'd love to see
Yeah.
that. You know, just an album of something like that. That'd be ripping for sure. So let's dig into getting involved with the boys in Drain. Just kind of like a little bit of a brief backstory. How did you end up getting involved with the band and the time frame?
Yeah, so let's see. So to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure Drain started in 2014, and it consisted of Tim. Like Tim is like the number one like original like member, and then they had like a couple members, just some of their homies that they met in college and stuff at the UCSC, then Sammy soon joined the band because they also met him in college because I guess they had the same like film class or something. And then when I kind of entered the whole thing was like I remember, at the time, like the 831 scene was like, I mean the scene has always been like active, but there was like kind of like a time where there was like nothing really necessarily new coming out.
Okay.
So there was still obviously like I don't want to say the scene was like dying or it was dead or by any means, like, but it was just like there wasn't really anything new coming out. There was like kind of the same bands were playing, same like type of shows, this and that. And I remember being on the like the 831 metal hardcore punk like Facebook page thing. And I remember, and then I'd get notifications for it, be like, oh, like someone post something, and I saw the Drain demo. So and it was like a picture of like Sammy, and he was like a black and white picture, and he was like doing vocals, and it was like Drain like demo or like something. I was like, oh, sick. And I like checked it out, and I was like, damn, this is really cool because at the time like Drain was sounding like it was like some Municipal Waste style, like really like crossover thrash, and I was like, damn, like no one's really doing this at the time. I mean, the only bands I could really think of that at that time that, and they weren't even from California, was like what, like Power Trip and like Iron Age, and like other than that, there weren't really like a lot of thrashy bands that I could really like name, especially not like where I'm from. So I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. And then so every chance I got, I would go and see them because at the time I lived in Salinas, and I remember they opened up for like Poison Idea, and I would go and see them open up for Poison Idea, and I was like showing up to their shows, and they kind of just like noticed me, like, oh, like dude, this dude with this long hair keeps coming up to our shows and stuff, and I would like talk to him, and then like and then they're like, dude, like then I kind of just became friends with them, like, dude, do you want to like fill in for a show or something? I remember they opened up for like Downpresser in Salinas, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I just like learned all the songs and then like played it, and then after a while they're like, dude, do you just want to play bass now? And I was just like permanently, and I'm just like, dude, I'm fucking super down. And then so we did our first like little like weekend runs or whatever with me like on bass. Then we had some lineup changes, and then they knew that I played guitar, and they're like, dude, like, do you just want to just play guitar? I was like, dude, honestly, that's what I've been trying to do since the beginning. So but I will say bass is very fun because I love jumping around. I love like just swinging my bass around and shit. But yeah, I was like, dude, I would love to play guitar in this band because like I feel like Drain is always like the band I've always wanted to be in, which is like just a good mix of like metal and hardcore. Like that's like always been my shit, and it's just like just like a band that kind of sounds metally, but then also like a band that's also a hardcore band with like the hardcore, like the ethics and like the morals and like just the overall vibe and energy. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
I've always wanted those two things combined, and like I'm really stoked that all worked out like that. And then so that was about 2016 when I officially like joined. And I think I got on guitar like 2017, and then so I've been on guitar since then.
Okay, sweet. So now, as far as you guys had like a promo, and then after that we had California Curse was kind of starting to get a little bit of rumbles out there, and Sick One comes out. That drops and had a couple of different cover arts. What can you tell us about the old baby in the shark suit that Derek Pratt, I believe, was the artist on that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that come about? Was there some sort of a pitch, or did you guys just say go for it?
No. So I'm pretty sure. To my knowledge, actually, I'm pretty sure that was just Sammy's idea, and then he gave that to him, and then he ended up doing that. Yeah. So it's like because Sammy's really into like the idea of like what are those little characters called? Like the little Cupies or whatever, like the little like You know, the little like
Oh, okay.
angel babies or whatever. Like, but he's like, oh, like in a shark costume. It's like, oh, like that's sick. It's like, like, yeah, that shit's sick. But yeah, like, yeah, that's pretty basically how it like came about, really. You know, like, yeah, but
Okay. All right.
funny stuff. Yeah.
Another thing touching on with Sick One as well, what is the magic to an effective tempo drop or pickup? You have the latter half of the song where it just all of a sudden spits into a whole other tempo, and I mean, people that are in the crowd can't help to pick up their feet when that shit happens. What's the method to the madness, if you will?
It's a good question. Well, like, I think that like like pauses really help, like in songs where it's just like a pause and it goes into like this different like tempo change. I think that's like what definitely works in that song. Also, what's funny too is like I don't know if you've noticed or anybody else has noticed, but it's like that whole song is just one riff.
Yeah.
Like so it's literally just fast and then it's like slow and it's like slower and it's just like literally just like so I think that's like really cool that like we did that and it's just like a one riff song just played differently. But yeah, I definitely think that like the pause, like right, like the I'll show you how it feels and dan and just like I always think those are really effective in like kind of like those whole that feeling of just like the whole like drop, you know what I mean? Pauses and just like or maybe or like Sammy, like he like says that little thing right there, like I don't know, I just think like stuff like that really like you know it's like throwing in a little sprinkling a little some little stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. It's one of those things. I mean, I guess as far as like writing music, you have certain times where you try to do that stuff, and I myself, I find different times where I'm like, God damn it, like it just doesn't seem like it's just the right either tempo or just difference or something. But you have things like that where you're listening, you're like, God, it's just perfect. It just works, and like every time somebody hears it, it's absolutely effective. So I just wanted to ask if there was a little something to it, or you guys are just like just on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I think we just kind of wrote it, and then just kind of just all kind of flowed together, and yeah, and
Beautiful.
I think it came out really well. So I'm glad you like it. I'm glad everyone else likes it. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah. So now the cover art for California Cursed. Tell us about that, and the initial time that you saw it and what you took from it.
yeah, dude. So I the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, like this like this is it. You know what I mean? Because it's like not to sound like too typical, but just like yeah, like this is like I really was like stoked on it because it's just like it's just perfect to me. Like I don't know, just like I think it just really captures just the album. You know what I mean? Like
For
I'm
sure.
trying to think like better words to use, but it's just like just seeing it, just like little like the little waves and stuff, like whatever, and like I don't know, I just think it's just like it just fits us really well, and the kind of pink, whatever the colors used in it and stuff like that. I don't know, I really enjoy it a lot.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What with one track also I wanted to touch on as well was Hollister Daydreamer. Was that always intended as a instrumental?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because we were trying to do like a little interlude type of thing, and well, not that we were like trying to, but it just kind of like came about, and it's like yeah, like basically how that came about was like I guess like there was like a time when we were in the middle of kind of writing that record, and I remember I was kind of going through like I had moved out of Santa Cruz, I moved back to my dad's house in Hollister for a little while before I ended up moving to LA, and then so for some months like I was like just chilling. I was kind of like went through like this like kind of like depression, and I was kind of just like I was like fuck, I'm trying to write this record, but I'm also like kind of just going through like this weird time, and so I'd wake up every morning before work and I'd go out into my dad's backyard and I'd take my acoustic guitar out there and I'd like kind of watch the sunset and just kind of like play whatever came to my head, and then all of a sudden like just over time, like I'll just kind of keep playing this little like riff, the little doom 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 doom, and then like I was like, damn, like fuck, this is kind of sick, and I showed it to the dudes, and they're like, damn, this is really really cool, and then what's funny too is like a little side note is like so I guess how the name came about was I definitely wanted Hollister to be incorporated into it, but then like what we were originally gonna call the album, like well I one of the names that we had was like a Sunset Daydreamer, and like before California Curse it was supposed to be like Sunset Daydreamer. That's one of the names that we kind of had like up in the and then but then obviously we ended up
Shit.
calling it California Curse. But then so then Sammy kind of had the idea. He's like, why don't we just use like the Daydreamer part and then just put Hollister Daydreamer? I was like, oh damn, kind of sick, and that's very fitting for the song, given the fact that like I would just sit there and just kind of like watch the sunset and then get ready for work, just play that riff. I'm like, damn, yeah, Hollister Daydreamer, so then that's how it all came about, so
Nice,
yeah.
sweet. It also, it kind of added, a little bit of like a Bay Area 80s like thrash or metal, a flavor to it, as far as like adding in that little touch. Because the first time I heard it, I'm like, damn, this is a little different for like shit that I'm hearing right now or things that are happening on albums. And then just more and more, it just really fuses everything and is very cohesive still. It's not something where it's way too off, off center, where it's like people are listening like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sweet. I love that.
Dude,
Tell us
if
if you can, going back to the recording process and in the studio with the album. I wanted to do a little bit of a gear breakdown, just as far as what you used in the studio, guitars, all that, pedals and whatnot. So first off, what guitars did you have on this bad boy?
Yeah, so I was using at the time I had like my Burgundy Jackson. I forget, I pretty sure it was the Jackson Soloist. No, definitely was a Soloist, and I was using that. And that had fuck, what pickups did I have in at that time? Oh, the EMG HCs, the passive ones. I had the passive ones in there, and so then, so I was using that, and then like for the gear, I was the head I was using was the Marshall JCM 800, and pedals I might forget one of them that I was using, but I know for sure I was using the Marshall Governor, and then I was using a Metal Zone, and shouts out to Taylor Young, by the way, because he's he basically just like I just told him what I wanted, or kind of gave him like a ballpark idea of like what I wanted, and he just kind of like helped me dial it in. So shouts out to Taylor. Nice. But we used a Marshall Governor, Metal Zone, and then like an equalizer pedal, like the GE7 or something like that, or whatever he had. And then I want to say there was like one more that I might be forgetting something, but that's essentially like what we used.
Okay. Was there anything that comes to mind as far as, earlier times that you had been in the studio and recording that possibly you had learned from those times going into recording this that helped out?
Yeah, because I think that the first time that at least that I went to like, the first but aside from the demos, like the overthinking release that Drain did, that was before me. They went to Taylor for that, so I guess essentially we've been going to Taylor for for overthinking and all the ones after that. But the first one that I recorded on with them was Time Enough at Last, which is the blue one, like the 4-song EP.
Yeah.
And so when I went in, that was like my first kind of like bigger studio experiences, like outside of like garages and stuff like, so all like with your home, like with gardens and stuff, I've like recorded in like garages and like just like little studios here and there, but that was like my first real one. And like, so I kind of went in not really knowing what just I was like, oh fuck, like I don't really know what to expect. And then I didn't really come with like a game plan of like what kind of tone I wanted for that. And I remember Taylor was just like, okay, cool. So he's like, so I assume you want like something between Slayer and Cro-Mags. And then and I was like, yeah, dude, I mean, honestly, that's literally, I mean, like at that time I couldn't really complain, because I was like, that's literally both of my personalities. It's like metal, hardcore, Slayer, Cro-Mags. All right, yeah, let's do it. But looking back at that, it's like now that we're, obviously, at this point, like we're we've built a relationship with Taylor, and at that time we didn't really know him too well, but now it's like we're all homies and stuff. We're like comfortable with him now, so it's like, and also too, like just the learning experience of like, okay, now next time I got to come in with like a better game plan of like, okay, like I want this type of tone, like I want like this whatever, this type of little thing on this like little solo, like whatever, and just over time you just kind of learn those things, because I feel like you just first time around you kind of go in, you're with it, and you're just kind of like, oh fuck, you kind of like, I guess as my grandma would say, you'd walk in a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, where you kind of like don't really know what's going on or whatever, and then once you're in there a couple times, and you understand, but yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now, taking it to your live shows and taking it to performances, what's your pre-show ritual? What are things that kind of help you center yourself before getting out there, or amping yourself up to have that energy for the show?
Well, for sure. I don't want to necessarily say it's like a ritual, but I mean, I definitely like, I always crack my knuckles, I always crack my fingers, and stuff like that. Stretch out my fingers, get ready for all the playing and stuff, and then I guess like I'm thinking in terms of like when we're on tour and stuff, like every night it's like I'll do that, and then like definitely like drink some water, and then like once I'm up there, we're kind of like sound checking or whatever. Like sometimes I'll like sound check with like different stuff. Like sometimes I'll sound check with the riff from Both Guns Blazing, Bane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just like stuff like that, or like I'll do like, or we'll just like do some chugs or something, or like just whatever. I'll just kind of like get my fingers kind of loose, and or whatever, just like whatever, maybe I'll take a sip of my little energy drink, or like maybe I'll just do something, or crack my neck, or like just little stuff like that, but I wouldn't say I necessarily have like a straight up just ritual that I do.
Same thing every night.
Yeah, but that's usually stuff that I do before like a show.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah. And that's good too. It's just kind of one of those things where different people have, different ways to, kind of get themselves ready for going out, or, I mean, the cool thing that I have heard you guys mention in different interviews, I talked to, Timmy, as well, as not utilizing all of the time that is allotted for your guys' set list. I think that's such a fucking cool thing. Like, absolutely love that. Like, all respect to, bands and different bands that have half-hour sets or whatever, but it's like, you have just a short and in your face like that keeps people grabbing and keep them wanting more. So I think people always appreciate that for sure.
Well, dude, yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad you you like this, because it's like, so like for that, it's like I guess we were all like kind of like about the whole idea of like less is more, I guess, and like, and also too, our vocalist Jacob from Gardens, like he told me once before, because he told me, but he was talking in terms of vocals. He was like, oh, he's like, less is more. So it's like, so I remember him, but he was at the time he was talking about vocals, but then like I kind of applied that to like with Drain and stuff like that. And I remember like I was like telling the dudes, I was like, yeah, like I don't know, like like less is more or something, and then like and then we kind of like all kind of like like the idea of just like, oh, like why don't we just have like a short set, just get in, get out, you know what I mean, just play super hard and then just fucking just go, and I think people really like that, because I think that one, I think that they think it's just like really cool, but then like two, I think it kind of leaves people like thinking like, damn, I wish I could hear more of that, and it kind of leaves them thinking like, oh shit, like I wish I could see that set like again, or something. So I don't know, I think it's like that's very effective, but also too, I mean, I think we definitely vibe with the whole like kind of short, effective, simple set, and just get in, get out. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah.
Even I guess along with like I could say even like film, for instance, it's one of those things where the idea of less is more, and not always putting out every single detail and everything right in your face and giving you absolutely everything, it kind of like I mentioned, as far as like still having that reach. I feel like that's kind of a universal thing as far as keeping people wrapped up. The shit doesn't always have to be absolutely everything right there and then. So it's like you gotta come back and see some more, see what comes up next time. I love it.
Totally, man. And that's like something like that I'm always trying to learn, because I feel like, especially for me as a guitarist, I feel like I tend to, because I feel like this is just the way I play. It's just like I play a lot of like riffy stuff, and then sometimes like I gotta think like, damn, like sometimes the song doesn't call for like a super crazy like riff, and like sometimes because I mean obviously I love simple stuff too, so it's just like but it's always like me trying to find like a happy medium between like the simple stuff and then like the cool like little riffy stuff. It's like, but I have a tendency to kind of add a lot of stuff, and I'm like, okay, fuck, I gotta take a step back and be like, okay, I don't think every song like needs that, like sometimes it just needs like a simple something, and a lot of the times those are the parts that are effective, you know what I mean? So
like old Kirk Hammett or James, as far as their solos, a lot of their stuff, it's not sitting there and sweeping and up and down the neck and all that shit. It's a memorable solo that for the rest of the day you're like humming that damn thing around. And I mean, I think that's that's a key thing, as far as along with the melodies and different things as their solos are so damn catchy. You can't get it out of your head.
Totally, yeah.
But,
I mean, you think like the riff, like for instance, like the riff for like For Whom the Bell Tolls, like dun 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 dun. It's just like it's such a simple, just like power chord, but it's like it hits so hard, and it's like,
right.
and it just makes you think. It's like, yeah, sometimes songs just need to be just stripped down and simple. And that's something I've been learning, But yeah,
love that. Yep. All right, so I wanted to ask, as far as like your guys' interest in skateboarding. Obviously, you had the shoot with Santa Cruz skateboard. Let me ask
right.
you, if you could have any one Drain song in a Tony Hawk video game, what song would you have? And what game would you do? Would you have wanted it to be?
Okay, for sure, and just for the nostalgia factor, I'm definitely gonna go with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Oh fuck yes!
I feel like that was my shit when because me and my uncle, like my uncle Rob at the time, he was like my age, and I was like, he was like like 26 or whatever, and I was like, I don't even know how old I was, but he had like the original, like the Xbox, like the with the green one, with the, and then we'd play that, and I think that's the one that had like the CKY song, the 96 Quite Bitter Beings, and it had like the Adolescence on it and stuff. It had just like a bunch of shit, but yeah, I would definitely, it would be that game for sure. And then I'd probably just put Army of One in there, to be honest. I feel like, well, either that, or I feel like White Coat Syndrome would be like a cool like skate song for some reason, but I feel like Army of One is like definitely like just a really catchy, and it's like, it's kind of like upbeat. So it's like, I don't know, like I think that'd be a cool one for
sure.
Yeah.
Did you grow up watching skate videos and different things like that? Did you have different skaters that you bought VHSs of and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, like, so it's funny because like, I definitely don't really skate now these days. Like if I do, it's just like cruising to like the liquor store or something, but I definitely don't do tricks or try not to do any tricks anymore, because like I'm really like afraid of like breaking my wrist, and if I break my wrist, I can't play guitar. So it's just like, but so that's kind of been like my vibe for like some years. But I mean, when I was a kid, like I used to skate and stuff like that, and like I was never really the best skater. Like I could ollie, I could like fucking do whatever, like ride a little bowl, but like nothing too crazy. But yeah, like for sure, like my favorite skater when I was a kid was like definitely like I was for sure really into like Rodney Mullen, like Chad Muska. Who was that dude? Christian Hosoi, of course.
Yes.
Like Daewon Song, like all those dudes, because those are all like dudes that my uncle, because my uncle was like super like he was like he was like a teenager, like he like graduated high school in like 2000, like he just like I remember he had like a VHS or something. It was like I forget what it's called, but it's like the Rodney Mullen Daewon Song where they're like both skating it. I forget the name of that one though, but remember him showing that to me, and I was like, damn, this is sick. Like, and then, but, yeah, so.
It was always so cool seeing seeing those things, and like the Tony Hawk games and the BMX games too, because it was one of those things where it was like, it was already fun, but then hearing some of the music, that you might not have found or discovered, through some of that shit, is just like, that was always sweet, with the newer games that were coming out. So, and I know I asked Timmy that too, as well, just as far as with the Tony Hawk, because you guys doing the Santa Cruz deal was absolutely fucking sick, and just something, different and attention grabbing, from some cats too. So, I absolutely love that. I had to. One thing, as far as like, okay, so here in Michigan, we have our share of just terrible weather, just winters, all this shit. But then once the sun starts coming around, like today, absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
California Cursed is one of those albums where I can turn that bad boy on and it just fits it fits the environment, it fits the day. What are some albums that you consider good weather complimentary?
And you mean good weather complimentary? Sorry, complimentary as in like specifically for like sunny weather, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. You wake up, you have to go drive somewhere, and you pop in a CD or you turn on an album that just compliments the good day for an even better day.
Okay. Well, definitely. First thing that comes to my head is like Night Ranger for some reason. Like, so it's like I just feel like Night Ranger, like any of those albums, like what is it, like Dawn Patrol? I don't know if you're like familiar with Night Ranger, but like just they have all those like radio hits. It's like fucking when you close your eyes, do you dream about me? Just like those cheesy like there's cheesy like 80s like power ballads. It's not really considered Night Ranger to be like a metal band, but it's just like kind of just like this like cheesy like 80s like rock, like pop rock, kind of like with like a bunch of synths and stuff. Like I feel like that to me always like if I'm trying to get hyped up, I'm trying to like, if I'm feeling good and I'm like, yeah, like you said, like on a drive and I'm like, damn dude, like bump some Night Ranger, put some like Foreigner or something, like you know, it's like head games, it's all you ever do, you know, it's like something like that. It's like some real like 1982, like, you know, you got like a members only jacket and you're like, hey, man, it's something like that. But yeah, like some like that, and like I don't know, just like I feel like just, yeah, I don't know, like something like that, and then like I don't know, maybe it's like some good hip hop, like oh, you know what too, also like I'm a huge fan of like Gnarls Barkley too.
Oh, okay.
Like yeah, so like just what's that one, the album with it's got both of them, both like the little cartoons on it, and it's like it's got that like all those like the yeah I'm on the run, like I don't think that one has that song Crazy on it though, but yeah, but it's like just shit like that. Yeah, just really anything. I mean, to be honest, I mean, like I just even like whatever. I mean, I just feel like music just kind of like, you know, puts me in a good mood in general. So just like whatever. But for sure, like something like that, like some kind of like 80s kind of like hyped up kind of like power ballady thing, like Night Ranger, Foreigner, I don't know, something like that really puts me in like a really good mood for some reason. I don't know why. But, yeah.
How can it?
Yeah.
I love that answer. That's awesome. All right, so along with Drain, I wanted to touch on you're also in Morning Coffee as well as Gardens. First off, I wanted to touch on this new Gardens that you guys just released. What's the story behind it? It was initially done in like 2019, right?
Yeah, so yeah, we recorded that in, I want to say like May of like 2019, something like that, and that was with our friend Charles Toshio. He's in that band No Right, and he's been in like other bands from like when we were younger, like Peacemaker, and like which shared members of more like Morning Coffee and stuff like that too. And yeah, like so it's funny because I feel like Gardens, because like I said, Gardens has been a band since like 2012, and I feel like we're like the best. Like someone said it the other day too. They're like, so like Gardens is like the best worst band like ever. Like and what I guess what I mean by that is like, you know, because obviously like, you know, we've always been like a tight band. Like, you know, we always like play our songs well and like whatever, and like especially like when we're in that groove, like if we're like on tour and then like we're playing songs every night or whatever. Like, but then like we're also like the worst band. We're kind of like lazy to the point where we're just like, especially like in the early days of Gardens, we were just like. We'd like party a lot and stuff like that. We would just like play, and then we'd just like go like drink some beers or whatever, and just be like, oh, and like sell no merch. And it's like, oh, it's like, why don't we have any band money? It's like, oh, I wonder why, because like we're like in the van just like drinking and we're not slinging merch. It's like just shit like that, you know. But so that whole kind of whole vibe is kind of carried on to when we recorded that, and it's just like we recorded it, we're like, oh, we're gonna put this out, we're gonna like do a tour off of it, it's gonna be like super sick, like whatever, and then we just never did. We just like kind of forgot about it and just kind of like had it on the back burner for a little bit, and then like, you know, obviously like, you know, some of the other members of Gardens, like, you know, they got like big boy jobs and stuff, which is understandable, it's like whatever, but you know, and then like life happens, whatever, and then we kind of just doing our own thing. But and it wasn't until like I want to say like when was it, like what, a couple weeks ago or like whenever. And we're just like, you know what, dude? Like, why don't we just like put it out? Like, it's like you know, because we have the album ready to go. So why don't we just put it out? And then like we got the artwork done, and then we're just like, all right, cool. It's like let's just release it at this point, like, because you know, like, so that's kind of how it happened. And
okay,
but I'm really really stoked on it. I think it's some of like our best stuff, and I think it's the best we've ever sounded. Like on you know, recorded, and yeah, and I'm hoping that when shows come back, we can do the release show / final show for it, and it will be in Salinas because that's where we come from. And yeah, you know what I mean. So that'll definitely.
Like, are you saying the band's done? That's over?
Well, that's kind of like what we were like kind of talking about. Well, actually, to be honest, I think like that's the thing. I don't really know because we kind of talk about like, oh yeah, that'll be like the final show, whatever. But then we're also kind of talking about maybe doing like a little run along with that, and then maybe in like the last show in Salinas, so maybe do like a week like little like tour or something. But then also too, I mean, like Gardens is we just been around for so long, and I feel like maybe Gardens might just go on forever. Like you never know. Like I don't know, but it just kind of, it's like up in the air. So we always like talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna end it like now and stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see. It's like I think Gardens is always just gonna be like a part of like my life and stuff like that. So which is kind of cool. But I don't know. We'll see. We might do that final show, and we might just keep going. And I don't know. We'll see. But
Man,
yeah,
dude, that's a shame. That EP is fucking ripping. Holy shit. That's
dude.
one of the funnier things too I wanted to mention as far as, some bands, you kind of hear cats are like, primarily you hear of them as like a guitarist or something, then they go and they're in another instrument, and you're like, I pop on this, and then, especially, with Insufficient Fun, I pop that bad boy on, and your drumming is like fast, not necessarily overly flashy or anything, but it's one of those things where it's fast and technical in the aspect of, it's just clean like that. Tell us about, just your approach with playing to that band and kind of, leading up to recording that bad boy. What all you had in that?
Dude, well, yeah. Thank you, man. I'm glad you like my drumming on it. But yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, like what I was. Well, I can't really tell you exactly what I was using because I was using like the kit that they had at the studio, but then like my cymbals, like I don't even remember. I mean, it's been so long since I played drums. It was like I just have like a bunch of just like stuff that like I've accumulated over the years, like different cymbals and stuff. They're like different. And then
Okay.
yeah, but definitely like when it comes to sticks, like it's either like I remember I used to use like ProMark when I was younger, and then kind of more like Vic Firth, like sticks as I got older. But yeah, like as far as like all the stuff that I use, I can't really exactly tell you because I just pulled up and we just played the I just played the kit that was in the studio, and I just put my cymbals on real quick, and then we just fucking recorded. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but that's what I mean, man. It's like with Guard, with Drain, it's a lot more like precise, and it's a lot more like we got all our shit together. But it's like with Gardens, it's like that's what it's just funny because it's just like we were just kind of like that band that's like and of course like Gardens is really like influenced by like like Ceremony and like All Teeth and like that whole kind of like North Bay kind of hardcore thing of Sabretooth Zombie and shit like that. So it's like, and I feel like we just really like brought the punk like with that band and stuff like that. So we're just very like, oh yeah, like like yeah, we're gonna play good, but like we also don't give a shit at the same time. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like it was kind of like that, but yeah, so.
Okay, all right. That's more of an answer than I could have asked for. Like, and
Yeah.
that's a shame if it does, if it does end, or if it, kind of comes to a little bit of a halt. I mean, that that's one thing, but I'm glad that at least we got that last release because that thing is fucking ripping. That thing's sweet. I've been playing it nonstop since it dropped. It was just last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was literally music that we recorded in May
A
2019.
couple of
We
years
just
ago.
yeah. But yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like once shows start coming back, I mean, I'm sure we'll probably do like a run. I'm sure we'll probably do like a little tour or something like in support of that, and then in the show in Salinas as like that's like the release show, and then so I don't really know. I mean, we'll probably maybe we'll make that the very last one. Maybe we won't. I don't know, but yeah.
Leave it up in the air. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I look, I appreciate that. I appreciate your stories and your time with all of this. This is wrapping up. I'm going to give you an
Oh,
opportunity as far as like with the floor to just kind of let everybody know what's going on, even with Drain, maybe some things that are coming out, here this next year. I do have one finale, but this is your opportunity, my man.
yeah, man. Shoot. I mean, just yes, we are writing. That's about as much as I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it
Sweet.
at that. And yeah, we're doing good. We're just trying to have practice as much as we can, and yeah, and I'm stoked that like everyone continues to like support the album and just really rocking with us, and like we are very humbled by that, and we appreciate everyone just listening in
Mhm.
whenever they can and just really just rocking our merch or like whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just like I we really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those things, especially with like 2020, where it's kind of hard, with even with California Curse not being all that old or anything like that by any means, but then you have like 2020 happen, and it feels like it's, you know, years and years, like as far as, you know, just a time and people are like, oh, asking different bands, you know, when are you gonna come out with shit? It's like, hey, we just released an album last year, dude. Like, settle down, shit.
Yeah,
You know?
we haven't even had our release show for it yet, so it's like,
Yeah, right. Right. That is so,
yeah.
I mean, that's so wild. You know, and I think it's an important thing too, as far as just like different pages and different, you know, social media kind of sharing these things and still, you know, showing that they're listening, or even, you know, sharing them so that other people see them too. Because I feel like nowadays it's kind of like this, I don't know, it's kind of this mentality where it's like, you know, you have things on Apple Music, and every week, you know, different music's coming out, and it's almost like an album that came out just last week. People are like, oh yeah, I'm not really listening to that anymore. This new album is sick. You have to check this out. It's like, well, no, dude. I mean, I kind of had a time where going to like an album, you know, like a different like CD store or something, you know, you had to pay the majority of your allowance or your check or whatever for this fucking CD. And if you didn't like it, you know, you're pushing your ass to love it because you just paid all your money for it, you know? So,
Yeah.
you know, really
That-
trying to take time to appreciate the music and not just kind of, you know, jump past. That's one thing that's a little bit of a bummer with music right now, and just that kind of mentality of people asking for more.
Definitely.
But kind of the times. What do you do? So,
Yeah.
look, all right. So for this finale, as far as your interests in, you know, just like following your page and just seeing some of your different interests, I wanted to dig into different different bands as far as different genres, you know, looking at some of the different genres of different albums that you posted. And I'm just going to throw out a genre, and the first album, first band that comes to your mind, just toss it out to us that you're a fan of. So first off, let's go with R&B.
I don't remember the name of that, but it's it's Keith Sweat, and it's the one it's the one with the I never do anything to hurt you. You know, I think it's called I'll give all my love to you or something like that. Damn. I know it came out in like 1990. I know that for sure, but it's like the one that's like a brown cover, and it's like him just like posted up, but for sure probably like that. That was the first thing that came to my head.
All right, love it. All right, next up, let's go with country. What comes to mind with that?
Okay, yeah, easy. So here in the real world by Alan Jackson. I think that's a perfect, and I love. I'm sure a lot of people might think like, oh, like this dude likes country, and it's like, but no, I fucking love country, and I will make it known every single day of my life. Alan Jackson is probably one of the greatest artists of all time, and I would fucking love to meet him. But yeah, no, that album is fucking amazing. Like just like front to back. His debut album came out in 1990. Bangers, just straight bangers.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the interesting things too, is seeing, excuse me, some of the stuff that you post on here. I'm just like, what the hell? All right, well, I'm gonna have to ask about this.
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah.
Next up, come at us with a punk band. What's the first that comes to mind with punk?
So a punk. I mean, I would probably have to say, just off the top of my head. I mean, I'd probably just say like maybe like Damaged, Black Flag. I mean, that was like the first. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're thinking like just punk. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say that for sure. That's the first thing that comes to my head.
Okay. Well, you know, with some of these subgenres and everything nowadays, and different ways people break shit down and everything like that, if you go with an album like that, that's straight up going to be punk. There's not.
Oh yeah.
There's no other ways you're breaking that down. That's good.
Definitely.
Good choice.
Definitely.
Love
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
All right. Next up, let's go with hip hop.
Okay. Well, see, the thing is, like, I mean, if we're talking like just 90s, just like kind of like just like traditional hip hop, I'd probably go like Craig Mack. What is it? Is it Funk the World? I think that's what it is. Operation Funk the World. You know the here comes the brand new flavor in here. You know, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd probably go. I think like he's like for that time, I think super underrated, and like I feel like Biggie overshadowed him because Craig Mack was the first artist on Bad Boy. And then Biggie showed up, and then they kind of shelved Craig Mack because he just wasn't popping as much as him. But he's definitely underrated, and definitely got bars for sure. But yeah, like that,
okay.
and then like I don't know, because I love all hip hop, so I love like everything from like the old like traditional stuff to like, you know, just like trap stuff and just like Bay Area shit, like fucking like just new, you know, just everything. you know. But
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That good selection. I like that. I'm gonna have to check that out too because I remember the song, but I didn't know who sang it. So that's
Yeah,
sick.
Craig Mack for
Craig
sure.
Mack. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What about just all around a '90s artist? What's the first one that comes to your mind? It's a '90s artist.
So honestly, the first thing that came to my head was Vision of Disorder. I don't know why. This Vision, like a Vision of Disorder. I mean, yeah, they're from Long Island, right? No, yeah, they're from Long Island.
I
Vision of,
think New York. Yeah.
there's somewhere like that. Yeah, just like they're definitely probably one of my favorite like '90s hardcore bands. But yeah, like '90s artists. I don't know. Like other than that, like fucking what's that that cheesy ass song that New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits, like that like super
Oh
cheeseball ass like
man.
it's like a
Is it a boy band?
yeah, it's like a 1999 like boy band. I don't know, like that song came on the other day and I was like, dude, the song kind of slaps, but but yeah, like but yeah, I don't know. Those are the first two things that come to mind. I don't know why, but yeah.
Holy shit. Man, I mean, if anything, a good laugh and, and a good take down memory lane. That's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my god. All right, man. Look, this is our time. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. And,
Dude.
and thank you for taking the time and coming back because it's been a little bit and a long time
Mhm.
coming, but I
Definitely, man.
appreciate it, and I know the fans are eager to see you guys live again and continue on this journey with Drain, the rest of the music you got going, dude.
Dude, thank you, man. Yeah, we're definitely ready and stoked to get back to it and fucking play some shows, man. That's yeah,
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, you got Lo-Fi Horror Guy, my dude Cody Chavez of Drain. You take care. Stay safe, my man. Take
Dude,
care.
thank you, man. You too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi, lo-fi, a horror guy. Yeah. Lo-fi horror guy has been recorded in front of a live studio audience.